Hello, I'm back. Okay, we're going to restart the show from scratch. I'm sorry about that. My entire system went out and I had to reboot everything. So I'm sorry for the problem, but we're going to redo the entire show and pretend like I was never on before. So let me do my checks again and I'll be with you momentarily. Hold on, please. Okay, I am back, and hopefully, I got everything resolved. But my entire computer system died. Okay, so we should be doing good now.
My name is Len David Livesey.
Okay, excellent. So we're back in the house. I'm sorry about that. And maybe somebody doesn't want me to talk about this subject, but my computer just totally went out. So I had to restart and reboot everything. But let's get restarted. We're starting from scratch for those who missed the other part. My name is Len David Livesey. I'm your full spectrum Gnostic, and we have a very important topic that we're talking about. We're talking someone doesn't want me to I think someone doesn't want me to but to do this show. And they're doing everything they can to prevent me from doing this show. And they're doing one hell of a good job of doing that. But I'm going to try to fix whatever we can and solve this problem because we are not going to let people or things get in the way. Knowledge is knowledge, and we must do our part. So let me go ahead and try to fix this, and we should be good again. Okay, but I think we're being sabotaged, is what is going on. But they could do their, they have their job. I have my job. We all have our job to do. So they could play their games. I'll play my games also. So, but anyway, so as soon as I start talking about certain topics, it starts going crazy. As soon as I mention the word Trump, the computers start acting up. So we're going to play this game again, and we're going to keep doing it until it works right. Now, let's talk about what I was talking about last time. Okay, coronavirus came along. We're not going to argue about how this thing came out of China because I believe that this is a real disease. I do not believe because if you look at the history of the world, diseases have always plagued mankind. Okay. And it's true that governments have always done their little thing to tinker with stuff, but we are not gods. We don't have the technology to do the damage. And why would you invent something that would not go after your enemies and only go after yourself? And this disease have devastated the entire world, not only China. So we're not going there. Wherever this thing came from, maybe the Martians brought it. We are stuck with it and we have to figure out a solution to our problem. So first we had regular coronavirus. That was last year. We all had a lot of fun with regular coronavirus. And then we tried to form a vaccine against this. Okay. Here we go with computer problems again. Now, as I said before, because of Trump, the World Health Organization was not able to come up with a vaccine because Trump was anti the World Health Organization. So every country was on its own. Because of that, you came up with the Chinese vaccine, the American vaccine. You had all these vaccines, but there was not one singular vaccine in the world. Okay. And then it goes further than that. And then after you had even when you just had the one vaccine in the United States, we was working on ours. Trump didn't want to work with the CDC. So you didn't have an American vaccine. For the first time in American history, you came up with vaccines with companies' names on them. So you have the Moderna vaccine, you got the Pfizer, you got the Johnson and Johnson, you got all this craziness. And around the world, you have around 10 or 15 different vaccines which are trying to fight this single disease. Okay. Now, where we are now, the vaccines was doing, since different people made them, the vaccines around the world with everywhere from 95% effectiveness to some of the vaccines was effectiveness was kind of low, 70% or so. Then the variants started. You had the British variant that was first, the South African, then you had the Brazilian, and you was working your way down the list. You even had the LA variant. And then you got to the Indian variant. The Indian variant was the strongest variant yet. And this variant is what is spreading all over the world right now. We have the Indian variant. And this variant is very, 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 very strong. Okay. Now, what is the difference between this variant versus the other variants? Is that this variant has a cousin, which we will talk about later, called black fungus. But at first, we're just going to talk about coronavirus as itself, the way it is here. Now, with the coronavirus, that with the Indian variant by itself, which they changed the name to the Delta variant. The Delta variant is stronger than all the other variants. And it did something that the other variants did not do. Okay. The other variants just pulled down the effectiveness of the vaccine. So when you had the British variant or whatever, the vaccine that was 95% was pulled down to 90%. Some of them was pulled down even less than that. But the Indian variant, or the Delta variant as it's called now, is extremely strong. And with this variant we have now, the problem is that it is dramatically pulling down the strength of the vaccines we have taken. Okay. We have some of the strongest vaccines in the world, up to 95% effective. But our vaccines have been pulled down to where they're only 70% effective. And some tests they're down to 65% effective. That is if you took the 2 shots. They don't even want to talk Johnson and Johnson. That one even has a lower number. Okay. And what is surprising, some countries around the world did very well with the original coronavirus. Australia had very few cases. India had very few cases. They're getting totally devastated by the Delta variant. And the Delta variant, again, is pulling the numbers very low. What just happened? There was a study that came out today in Galveston, Texas, of all places, where there's 160 people that have caught the Delta variant. Okay. A dozen of those have taken their 2 shots, and they still got the variant. So you might say 160 and there's around 10, 12 people that got it. That's very low, but that is not 95%. Okay. That is very high. And what some countries are starting to do, in China, their vaccine was only at 70%. The British, though, with this Delta variant, have pulled their effectiveness down below 50%. So in China, they're going to give, in China, you had to take 2 shots. Now in China, you have to take, okay. That's just to try to keep this they're trying to keep this from invading China. Okay. And in America now, within a matter of a few weeks, we went from a few cases of Delta variant to now half of the cases in all of America is the Delta variant. 50% of all cases. And that is if you haven't had your shots, what is happening is the people that is catching the British variant, this is even with regular coronavirus, it was making people sick. With the Delta variant, some people are saying this is 5 times, some people say this is even 10 times stronger on as regular coronavirus. And for people that have weakened immune systems or the elderly or whatever, this is awesome. Okay. Not awesome in a good way, awesome in a bad way. And this is another thing about this one variant which they don't understand. The other regular coronavirus, the regular coronavirus strain preyed on older people. This one likes to go after middle-aged and younger people. Maybe it's varying the older people more because maybe a lot of the older people had their vaccines. But a lot of the people that are catching Delta are younger people. Okay. And this is really stacking up across the country. And this is coming across the country like a tidal wave. So they're already warning us like they did a year ago about this could really get kind of bad. And they was already working on a booster, but at the speed this is moving, we need to figure out something very, very quick. We need to figure out what we need to do. And again, since we don't have a single vaccine to work with, it's hard for the world to work together because different parts of the world has different vaccines and no one has the same vaccine all over the world. Okay. But where is this very bad right now? The Delta variant is the number one place is India and England. And then after that, you having cases spreading a lot in Australia, a lot of cases in America. Okay. You have cases breaking out in Mexico a lot. And it's working its way down into Central America. It's working its way across Europe. But this is the main places where it's coming from this time. It's not coming from China. It's not coming from the Oriental countries. Okay. It's coming our way, and it's coming through England into Europe, and it's going from America into Central and South America. So this is scary enough because we are just trying to get over that nightmare, that catastrophe we had last year. And that catastrophe we had last year devastated not only the American economy, it devastated economies all over the world. And now that governments are starting to get back on their feet, now we are playing this game all over again. And I don't know about you, I don't want to go through what I went through last year. That was hell on earth. Okay, that is the reason why I went and got my 2 shots. I don't want to get 1 or 2 more shots or whatever. I don't want to be a porcupine. I'm tired. Okay. And this would just be bad enough if this was just another flu just like we had. And the worst that could happen is we got to wear a mask and this and that and the inconvenience. And now they're talking about within a month or 2, they might have to take restaurants back down to 75% or 50%. Haven't we seen this movie before? They're going to try to avoid this time the total lockdown if they can, because the devastation this caused. This is the map that is showing where things are spreading all over the world. The darker the color, the worse things are. Okay. So we are trying to avoid this headache, but we have bigger problems than just this one variant, because this variant, if every variant seemed to be stronger than the one before. If this one is, we have the strongest vaccine in the world. We was at 95%. With the Delta variant, our vaccine, the one, if you got Pfizer or Moderna, the effectiveness is down to 65%, 70%. And people that have gotten 2 shots have caught the Delta variant. The only difference it makes if you got the shots or not, you seem to get a lot less sick if you had the vaccine, if you catch it and you don't have the vaccine. Okay. But you can catch this if you had your shots. You are not 100% protected. Remember, your effectiveness went down from 95% down to around 70%, where we are now. Okay. So we are not safe. So what does that mean? Do that mean that we got to go through all that headache and BS that we went through last year? I don't want to go through all of that. We need to figure something out. Okay. And the problem is, if we cannot figure things out, and now that the world can work together, it's hard to work together because we got so many different vaccines out there. The vaccine people took in Europe is not the same one that they took in the United States. Russia had their own vaccine. China had that vaccine. And some countries like Mexico and whatever, they have gotten vaccines from all over the world. Okay. So it's like, this is the problem with not having a single vaccine. We have so many different variants. Now, the country that has the most, we're now in America. 50% of everybody in America have gotten the shots. 50%. Okay. As you get older, in the elderly, it goes up to 75%. Almost 80% of elderly have taken the shots. But when you get into younger people, it goes down to 30%. Okay. And remember, this one preys on younger people. And younger people are the working people. We need the younger people to stay well so they can work. Okay. So this is where we're standing with this variant right now. And, everybody is on alert right now. They're making contingency plans that if this continued to spread, what they may or may not do. But I think we've seen this movie before. This is the exact same movie and the exact same position we was in before. When coronavirus, the original one, first entered, they didn't know what to do, and they had these contingency plans. And they said, well, if things get bad, we might have to shut things down for a week or two. And we ended up several months stuck in our houses. Okay. Doing Zoom education and everything else. Okay. And our economy is just starting to get back on its feet again. And now we're having this again. Now, if that was the only problem, we could all get mad and say, well, I bit that bullet one time. We could bite that bullet again. But unfortunately, the Delta variant has a friend, which the other ones did not have. This is called black fungus, is a friend of the Delta variant. Okay. And if you catch the Delta variant, around 1% of the people that catch the Delta variant can catch black fungus. And this is what we're really scared of. Okay, a lot of people don't know what black fungus is, but let's talk about black fungus. And this prays similar to what was going on with the original coronavirus. The coronavirus, if you was healthy, just made you sick as hell. Okay, like a super bad flu. But if you had respiratory problem, diabetes, this and that, overweight, high blood pressure, it really hit you super hard. Okay. Now, what this fungus does, it preys on people that have those pre-existing conditions. So even if you took the shots, if you're suffering from diabetes, bad circulation, high blood pressure, and things, the problem is then you have the problem of running into this fungus. And this fungus loves people that have a very low oxygen content in their blood. Okay. And the fungus starts to grow inside of you. And this is what alarmed people in when this thing first appeared in India. Because, with coronavirus, they give you all these antibiotics. The antibiotics does not work on black fungus. Doesn't work. Only antifungal medication work. And a lot of time when this fungus get inside of you and you started getting black spots appearing on your body, or you start having the symptoms, which I'll be going over in a little bit, it's a little too late because the fungus is growing inside of you. It would be bad enough if the fungus was growing on the outside of you. But if you have fungus growing in your nose, or fungus growing in your throat, or fungus growing in your mouth, that's super hard to get rid of. And the bad thing about this fungus, and it's just not sitting on your throat or sitting in your mouth or sitting in these places. It's actually eating while it's there. So if you get this black fungus in your throat, it's actually eating your throat away from the inside out. You're being eaten alive. And that's the reason why when people catch black fungus, it's extremely hard. One article was talking about a single case of black fungus can cost a hospital up to $100,000 to treat a single patient with black fungus. Could you imagine if we had several thousand cases? We couldn't afford it. And they've been saying for a very long time that this black fungus is nothing to worry about. If a person has black fungus, it's not, you can't catch it, you can't do this, you can't do this, it's just a fungus, it's just bad for that person. Now they're starting to talk about in India about the spores. All fungus has spores. That's how they release their little their fungus spores are released. Now when the fungus is growing inside of you, the spores are trapped inside of you. But if you got the fungus in your lungs or in your chest or in your mouth, when you're speaking and coughing, do I have to say anything else? Okay. And what scares the hell out of me, if we went bonkers and shut down the entire country over people coughing, what we're going to do over a few cases of people having black mold growing inside of them and they're being eaten alive. Once that hit CNN and all it and Fox News and all of this, people are going to be afraid to go anywhere, to touch anything, to do anything. Because you don't want a piece of that. I don't want a piece of that. Okay. And this is what is happening in India right now. Everybody is just, they're afraid. Because they're bravest of not only of coronavirus, now you have the spores being released by that person who has the fungus. And a lot of times you don't even notice that the person has the fungus until it starts to spread inside their body to where it's visible or the symptoms start being visible. Until then, it's very hard. So, Lynn, are you trying to scare everybody? Are you trying to tell everybody this is the end of the world? We're going Armageddon stuff? No. But this is, as I told you, see, this is what happens a lot of times. When people when there's a tsunami wave, most people think the first tsunami wave is the worst. A lot of times, the first wave is not the worst wave. It's the second or the third tsunami wave, which is the largest. We got hit by coronavirus, and people was thinking, which I was trying to tell people, that we got hit, we got over it, we survived, game over, man, we finished. This is just round 2 that we're getting started on right now. Okay. Round 2 might be worse, and it looks like it's going to be worse. Because right now, we know that, the Delta virus is spreading. If you look, nobody will tell you anything about black fungus. In Mexico, there has been 2 or 3 cases of confirmed black fungus. You can get no press release on that, any information. They don't want that to get out at all. So we don't know in Mexico, is there only 2 cases, 10 cases, 100 cases? They're not releasing nothing. And since Mexico, and last week you had a confirmed case in Mexico in the state of Tamaulipas, which is on the other side of Texas. The Rio Grande River separates Tamaulipas, Mexico from Texas. You can't tell me that there's not no cases over here, with so many people going back and forth between Mexico and Texas, Mexico and California, Mexico and Arizona. We don't know. And they're not going to tell us until it gets really, really bad. So this is what you need to be on the lookout for. We need to keep this under control, because if this gets out of control, this is going to be a lot worse. Okay, so that is what we need to do. So I'm going to take a second. I'm running by myself today. I'm trying to, I can't do everything. Unfortunately, I really need some assistance here, but let me see if there's some comments or anybody got anything they would love to say. It's a joke or Linda, as they said, that's the name. I can't even pronounce that. well, whatever the black fungus is called. You can look it up. But this is extremely, there's those spores right there. That's what I was talking about. Those are the spores that are released by black fungus. And if a person has black fungus, when they cough, those spores will come out. And if you breathe in those spores, the good thing about those spores, they don't like oxygen, a high oxygen content. So if you're healthy, we're supposed to all be healthy. And if you have, good circulation in your body and your immune system is working very well, your body can fight off a few of those spores. But, a lot of us is not as healthy as we should be. This is the problem. So we need, which I've been saying for a long time, when this coronavirus first started, I said this was a Chinese problem and those smart SOBs in China would figure out a solution to this problem. And I was wrong. And when it came to America and Europe, I said there's a lot of smart SOBs and we would figure it out. We need some smart SOBs. If you know any SOBs that are really, really smart right now, we need some solutions. Maybe this is a good time, I don't know, to ask for the aliens' assistance or something. Okay, maybe they might know something. But we need to do something. Because if this spreads, and if you're afraid, not only of catching a cough, because if you get those spores, and one of the first symptoms, which they'll be showing in a minute, is where you're getting eye pain, because it's a lot of time it enters through your nose or through your eyes or through your mouth. Those are the three main places. If you got, if it enter in your eye, a lot of time to try to stop it, they got to take your eye out. That's not good. You need two eyes. And if they don't catch it early, there's nothing they can do. Okay. And last thing before you could say I'm trying to scare you to death. The worst thing that this can do, if it gets in your arms and legs, to stop it, they can amputate. You can live with one arm and one leg. But if it gets in your mouth and your nose, this thing starts racing towards your brain. And this will actually eat your brain. Didn't we see that in a movie somewhere about these brain eating? Okay, I thought it was zombies. Maybe this is some kind of, who knows? But if this fungus reaches your brain, it will start eating your brain. Maybe that's where the zombies come from. I don't have the slightest idea. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we need to find a solution. And the world needs to work together on this. This should be numero uno to stop what we're having right now. Okay. Because if we do not, the cruise industry just was restarting this month. A lot of industries are finally getting back on their feet. Restaurants are finally getting back to full capacity again. Can we afford to go through another year of shutdown? Can the government afford another round of stimulus checks? I really loved getting those checks, but somebody has to pay for those checks. We didn't pay for the last ones. They printed the checks, but we didn't pay. We said, we'll print the checks now. We'll worry about paying for them later. That's what the government said. We can't keep printing checks and printing checks forever. Sooner or later, the bill is going to come due. So this is going to be rough and tough. So I don't know what we can do. Now, what I'm trying to do, if you have the problem of where you're borderline diabetic or borderline high blood pressure, or if you have the problem of poor circulation, you need to be checking because you have to find this early. And the symptoms on your skin is where you start getting black spots. And if you start getting black spots on your arms and legs and things like that, or black spots on your face, or something like that, you need to get immediate medical attention. Okay. So, do anyone out there have any situation or something we can do to try to solve this problem? Is there any smart SOBs out there that actually know or heard about something that we can do to try to stop or slow this down? And I don't think wearing a little bandana around our mouth is going to do this. We're going to need something stronger than a bandana. We're going to need something stronger. Okay. So, this is where we're facing now. And, but this is now spreading across the country. So, now, hopefully, these variants been coming up every few months. We've been getting a new variant. And every variant is a little bit stronger than the last one. At the rate this is going, we cannot afford another variant. If there's a variant after this Indian one, we might have to, okay. Our little shot might go, we went from 95% to 70%. If another variant come along before we can take this coronavirus out, we might be down to 50% too. I was telling you about Israel. Israel in the world is number one when it comes to people getting the shot. 90% of all the people in Israel, we're not talking those Palestinians, this is the signs you're looking for when it comes to black fungus. You're looking for the headaches, the fever, the bloody vomit, and eye pains. If you get those spores in your eye just burns and it hurts like you wouldn't believe. But I was telling you about Israel. 95% of the people in Israel have gotten the shots. We're not talking those Palestinian areas, we're talking Israel. Israel thought that they had it beat. Now 95% of the people in Israel has the shots. And now cases of Delta variant is starting to show up in Israel. We're not at 95%. We're at 50% in America. If you take the entire population, if you take the older population of elderly, we get up to 85%. But across the board, only 50% of Americans have got the shots. 50%. We're not at herd we're not there. And we can't get there because a lot of people in America are reluctant to take the shots, just like they're reluctant to do everything in this country. I don't care if a hurricane is coming. I don't care if there was a comet heading towards the earth and the government was trying to evacuate. In America, people say, I don't believe it. I'm not going to move. There's nothing you can do. Okay. But we need to hunker down. So what can you do? So now that I went over how bad it's going to be, what can you do on a personal level to prepare yourselves? This is coming your way. You need to what you're not going to do is go and buy up all the toilet paper, because toilet paper is not going to save your ass. I hate to tell you this. Buying up all the toilet paper will not save your ass. So you don't buy up all the toilet paper. But you do need to have a supply of food in your house, because this is going to hit us. There is no avoiding it now. They're going to try to avoid having a giant shutdown like they did last time, but they tried to avoid it last time and see what happened. But if the cases start spiking real heavily, and especially if there become a few cases of black fungus, that's game over, man. That game's over. Okay. They're going to shut everything down so quick, it's going to make your eyes spin. Okay. You're going to get dizzy. So you need to start preparing. You need to start thinking about, what do I need in my house? If I did get locked in my house, you know what you didn't have in your house the last time when you got locked down. And don't be saying, I need to run to the liquor store and buy a bottle of liquor. Okay. You need to make sure that you have the necessities for you and your family. Hopefully, this will hit us slowly. But we're not going to be able to avoid this tidal wave unless a miracle comes. I'm still got my fingers crossed on one of those smart SOBs will announce tomorrow that they found the cure and they can save our asses. But it doesn't look like nobody's speaking up. So you need to start preparing back. And they think this is going to peak in September. August, September is where they're thinking the peak is going to hit. This is only July. August is next month. September is the month after that. You do not have a lot of time. Okay. And one thing you need to make sure you have is you might need to have some money tucked away in case that situation happened. So you might need to start thinking about that now. Okay. Because there is no guarantee we're going to get another stimulus check. There's no guarantee. Okay. So, see, some people said they already have it. They already had COVID-19 already. And some people saying colloidal silver will fight black fungus. I do not know. The only thing that they know is black fungus is not, antibiotics does not work against black fungus. Antifungal medication. So I will tell you some hints, colloidal silver might be the thing. The thing I'm trying to do is because I have the problem of acne feet and whatever. So I bought some antifungal sprays for my feet. I'm now taking some garlic pills because garlic is very antifungal. I'm doing that now. You know what I'm saying? You might want to lower your pH in your blood. Viruses and bacteria love high pH. Okay. High sugar content. This is what happens. You need to, maybe we need to watch our diet. Okay. But other than that, especially if you know that you're in one of these vulnerable groups, you need to be watching yourself. Okay. So what else can we go over real quick? But other than this, we have on top of this is the middle of the summer. And, so we was just starting. This was the reason with myself, the 4th of July was so important. Because it was probably this way all over the country. The 4th of July here, everybody was out. Nobody's wearing a mask. You should have took a picture of that, because that probably won't exist much longer. you might as well enjoy your little freedom you have, because our little freedom is going to get cut short again. But hopefully it won't be that severe as it was last time. This is how they check for the black fungus. When it gets in your mouth and your eyes and everything, they go looking for fungus growing in your throat or in your mouth. And if it's in there, that's super bad news. That's super bad. So like I said, it will eat you from the inside out. So we all need to be on guard. We all need to prepare. Plus, we need to worry about our loved ones and our families and this and that. We have a warning this time. We should not make the same mistakes we did last time. Also, if you should get ready by not only having some food and things in your house, you need to also have some money in your house. It's great that you got all your money in the bank or your money in the stock market or your money this or money that, but in case of emergency, you need to have some cash in your house. You need to hide some money in your house. I didn't say take all your money out of the bank and put it in your mattress, but what happens, sometimes, those machines are not working, and people that do debit card everything and whatever, you need to have a little cash on you. You need to have some water on. We can survive for a week without food. We can only go for 3 days without water. You need to have some clean water, some food, a little toilet paper, not too much. And you need canned goods, because you can survive on canned goods. Some people can survive, I guess, on ramen noodles and things like that, but we are going to make it. So, is there any comment? We will probably end this a little short. Oh, somebody's saying you can try some zinc or some things like that. That's another good one to try, because zinc is good for you. And what else is there? Colloidal silver again. Let's see what else. Yes, we talked about how this can get into the lungs and the skin and the brain. Yeah, you don't want to get to the brain. As I said, it eats you alive. You don't want to go there. Yes, but we are on alert. And if I find out any more information about this, I will let you know. As I said, so far, there's been 2 confirmed cases of black fungus in Mexico. One in Mexico City and one in the northern state of Tamaulipas. But in both of those articles, they said that there's been several cases in Mexico with an S. So what's the definition of cases? Several cases. Okay. That means they're not telling us. But we know of 2 confirmed cases. Has there been a confirmed case in the United States? When you try to Google that or look for any information, nothing. It's the desert. They keep talking about how rare it is and how a problem is and how many cases in India. And when you say black fungus in the United States, is like you start having computer problems like I was having earlier. They're not going there. Okay. But we have to be on watch. Okay? And whatever, and so we can end on a positive note. So you won't be thinking about climbing up to the top of your house and jumping off. Remember, man has survived everything. We have survived volcanoes, earthquakes, everything. You know, the Black Plague, we went through everything. So don't be thinking this is the end of the world. Don't be thinking this is Armageddon. This is just another problem that we have to get through. And we can do it together as a group, or we can do it as the world going in 50 different directions. It's a lot easier and better if we work on this as a group, because we're not different people. We're not different nations. We're all human beings from the planet Earth. And when we have a problem on the planet Earth, the human beings on this planet needs to find a solution. It's not a China problem, a Russian problem, a black problem, a Mexican problem, an Indian problem. Okay, it is a problem that the human beings on the planet Earth are having, and we can solve it. And we need to pull together. Okay? And you need to be checking on your neighbors and checking on because remember, we have to make it as a group. You cannot make it on your own. And for those people that are saying, I'm going to go out there in the middle of the desert and hide out and get me a cabin and hide out there with my AK-47 or my AR-15, you can't make it that way. You can't. The virus may not get you, but the bears and the wolves will. Okay, so maybe that's a better way to go, but who knows? Let me see if there's any comments in closing. But remember, I'm here with you every Tuesday and Thursday. I am going through the news wire. I will try to keep you informed on what is going on. If you find out any information, let me know. And I want everyone to stay safe and healthy. And I will be here to the best of my ability, if my internet is working, to bring you important, great information all the time. Tomorrow, I will be on the Spirit Realm Network. I will be talking about that moon of ours. Is that a real moon, or is that the Death Star floating around our planet? Some people believe, and we might have some evidence, that the moon is kind of hollow, that the moon might just be a giant spaceship. Okay. But we'll be going over that tomorrow. But at first, you got to get over this podcast first. So you're not freaking out. You're not going to be saying that Lynn said is the end of the world. I didn't say that. We have a problem. We're going to solve it. And we are going to make it through. And you're going to make it through. Not only you, but you and your family. And the best thing we can do to help everybody is if you know someone who has, that's it right there. We have to take that vaccine. Because if you don't take the vaccine, and I hate shots too, and I hate doctors, and I don't even like American medicine. Okay. I believe in alternative medicine. I'm not a big doctor person. But even I had to bite the bullet and take my shot. Because I'm a used car, I have problems. And I am not going to die over a cough or a flu or this or that. And maybe it is a global conspiracy to take over the world in China. Okay, see, I'm not getting there. I just need to stay healthy. And you need to stay healthy for you and your family. And and they're doing the shot for free, you just need to take your ass over there and get it. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your wife and for your kids. But we need to get that number up. And the shot is not a panacea. They already got one label warning on the shot already. And before you know it, there's going to be a second or third. Anything that's made by man is imperfect. And we all know, which I'll tell you now, 5-10 years from now, you'll be hearing on those commercials. If you took that shot back in 2001, you need to call this number. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, okay? But we can only do one headache at a time. Right now, we have to try to survive the virus. Okay. And 5, 10, 20 years from now, when they're talking about the problem with this shot, and there's a lawsuit going on, and all the people who took the shot, they can join the lawsuit. That will be a different day. But today, we have to get the rate up. We're never going to be like Israel to be 95%, but 50% is kind of low. We need to get that number up. Okay. So talk to your friends and neighbors. Make sure all your family members are vaccinated if they can. And we have to do our best to try to stay alive and be there for our kids. Okay? With that, I think we're out of time. And I'm sorry for all the technical problems I was having today, but we did do a good meeting. We did get up and running. I'm not going to let these crazy people keep me off the air because we have to save ourselves. And maybe we need to say a little prayer along the way, and maybe they'll assist us upstairs. But we have to do the heavy lifting. I'm Len David Livesey, your full spectrum Gnostic. I'm here every Tuesday and Wednesday to help you out, to give you the latest information. If there's anything I can do for you, if there's anything I can do to help you and your family, any subject or subject matter or whatever, I will do my best. I hope to see everybody tomorrow and tomorrow on the Spirit Room Network and on Tuesday on my Facebook page. And with that, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Share this video with your family. I need to get my numbers up. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.